Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to It Came From DC Comics, here on Reaction and Review. Yes, guys, for the second straight year, I am going to dedicate an entire month to DC animated films, and oh man, I am looking forward to this month. Why? Because last year when I did this, the entire month was amazing movies, and I was so absolutely psyched. Now, one of those movies last year was Justice League War, which I thought was really solid. Tonight, I'm checking out the direct sequel to Justice League War, which came out in 2014. That movie is Justice League Throne of Atlantis. I'm going to tell you guys, I have been looking forward to this thing ever since I bought this Blu-ray way back in, like, July. I've been holding it back specifically for this month. So I've been kind of chomping at the bit to watch it. Oh man, I'm so psyched. Why? Because Justice League War was just that fucking good, and I want to see more with that specific Justice League team. And the fact that now they're teaming up with Aquaman, that just sounds awesome. You know, why? Because Aquaman, when written well, is awesome. And when he's written poorly, he's some schlub in orange spandex who talks to fish. I'm hoping this is a well-written Aquaman, though. Considering how everybody was written in Justice League War, I'm going to assume we're going to get a halfway decent Aquaman here. I'm certainly hoping for the whole movie to be decent, but the only way I'm going to find out, guys, is if I shut up and I push play, and I'm going to do that right now. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Justice League Throne of Atlantis. So, Aquaman is a down-and-out drunk in Mercy fucking Reef. Okay, that's sort of cool. I honestly was not friggin' expecting Arthur fucking Curry to just be a drunk in a bar, but, you know, at least it's a little bit different. Alright guys, I find it really awesome that Cyborg has, amongst all the shit that's built into him, he basically can become a fucking holodeck. That's awesome! I actually kind of wish that I had the power to just turn any room I'm standing into a fucking VR sim. That's really awesome, dude! Okay, I do not remember Mira being that much of a total badass. That was fucking awesome, though. So, yeah. Lesson learned. Do not piss off Mira. Bad shit will happen. Really awesome shit if it happens to someone else, but damn, that'd be kind of painful, though. You know, guys, I never really thought I would say this. I'm really digging exactly how gloriously, beautifully evil Ocean fucking Master is in this film. Ocean Master! One of the shittier DC villains. He's coming off in this film as being absolutely beautifully evil. He makes for a fantastic villain. I'm really, really digging him. Alright, so the National Guard is there with guns drawn because of a tidal wave. Now mind you, that honestly is all, folks, that the surface knows. There's a huge fuck-off tidal wave heading towards one of the biggest cities in the U.S., Metropolis. What the hell was the National Guard aiming to do? Were they aiming to shoot at the wave? I don't give a shit, guys, now that Ocean fucking Master's showing off his army. Before he showed his army, the National Guard was already there with guns drawn, apparently ready to shoot the water. Yeah. Apparently that is how the National Guard thinks. It's fucking tidal wave, let's shoot it. Brilliant. Well, guys, that was Justice League Throne of Atlantis. Let's shut that off. Oh, dude! That was great! Okay, so let's talk about the movie. I would like to say right now, before I even get started, I do have to comment on the runtime. This, guys, is something that is normally a little bit of like a... This here is like the weirdest thing when it comes to a whole lot of these DC animated movies is All of them have ridiculously short run times. Certain ones could probably do with an extra like 20 minutes or so to help pad out things. Other ones make absolutely brilliant use of their short run time. This sucker does wonders with an hour and, what was it, an hour and 22 minutes? Hour and 22, no, actually, no, wait, fuck that. That's actually an hour and 12 minutes. Hour and 12 minutes. They do wonders with that. I'm going to tell you guys right now, they were able to tell more of a story here in 1 hour and 12 minutes than most major Hollywood films can do in 2.5 hours. That is how much shit is packed into this film. And nothing here feels horribly rushed, nothing, no, guys, everything here from pacing to friggin' character depth and world building, it's all done so well, and it's all because the writing is that strong. I will say that it does feel kind of sort of weird that for a Justice League film, we don't have the focus on the whole league. I understand that's because this was supposed to be a more Aquaman-centric film. But I really don't think that would be justification for The Flash, Shazam, and Batman, and also Green fucking Lantern to essentially have to take a backseat to Wonder Woman, Superman, and Cyborg as they basically are working with, Aquaman, as they're working with Arthur to try to essentially try to claim his birthright as king of Atlantis. But I will say that even though we don't see a lot of Lantern, Flash, Batman, or Shazam, what is done with them here is done very, very well, and it really just, when you think about it, you just think about how little time those characters are actually involved in the story. That honestly is when it sort of stands out, is when you really stop and think about it. However, though, you are not going to think about that as the film itself is going, because you are going to be absolutely drilled into this story. I'm going to tell you guys right now, there's one thing that I've never thought I would see done in any sort of Aquaman-themed anything, and that was to take one specific character, one specific villain, and that is Ocean Master, and make Ocean Master a viable threat. Because, okay, yes, when it comes to Aquaman's rather shallow gallery of villains, Ocean Master usually is the second one people think of immediately behind Black Manta. And Black Manta is in this film essentially working as a stooge to Ocean Master. There actually is a bit of a speech in the last scene we see Manta in, talking about how he's doing all of this just basically so he can kill off Ocean Master and, basically like rise up and take his spot in power, which sounds exactly like something that Manta would do. I honestly am not going to spoil anything, but Manta's plans kind of go south. Let's just put it that way and move on. So, Ocean Master. Again, a villain I never really think of. Fuck, guys, even diehard Aquaman fans, like the 5 of them out there, normally don't think much about Ocean Master, but holy shit, they did wonders with him here. Ocean Master is turned into a spectacular villain who's able to whoop 7 shades of shit out of the entire league. He is able to put down Superman and keep him down. That's awesome. And the fact that they did it, and it actually is kind of sort of believable, tells you that they were able to take kind of a shitty villain, and by God, did they ever do something awesome with him. Guys, our characters here are awesome, and I'm not just talking about the Justice League. I'm not just talking about Aquaman and Ocean Master and Manta and Mira and every other new character who's brought in, who is part of Atlantis. I'm also talking about the fact that we got a cameo from Steel. Well, kind of a pre-Steel, which is awesome. I really liked that. I honestly was not expecting to see John fucking Henry Irons have to grab a gigantic sledgehammer and start whooping up on people. That was awesome. And to me, that actually is a really nice hint that if they do continue this series of films, outside of just all of the Batman spin-off ones they've done, I believe they've done 2 of those so far. Both of those are getting covered this month, just a heads up. But if they do more Justice League stuff, we may see Steel join the Justice League at some point, and that's awesome. I am more than happy to see more and more members join as these films go on. That is fantastic. I loved how well the writing was, guys, and the fact of the matter is this: DC basically is able to do almost anything in these films, and the reason why is because Warner Brothers is willing to let them do slightly, riskier stuff in these films, and let them get away with a PG-13 rating. That, honestly, guys, benefits this, because it makes these films a hell of a lot darker and a hell of a lot more interesting than the similar animated outings from Marvel. I've only seen maybe like 2 of those, and they really weren't that good. At some point, I really should sit down and just cover a whole lot of Marvel's animated outings, but let's continue to focus on this film. Our writing here is fantastic. I loved it, and it actually makes me want to go out and get makes me want to get the graphic novel or the trade that this thing is based on, because that would just be awesome. Anyway, so our writing here is stellar. Our acting, well, guys, it's almost all of the cast from Justice League War, it was Justice League War. I believe I might have said Doom at the start of this. I don't know why I kept saying Doom. It was Justice League War. It is that cast brought back. They were great in Justice League War. They're just as good here in all of the new additions. Are just adding even more awesome to a pile of badass. Guys, the acting here is fantastic. There is nobody here who is phoning it in. There's nobody here who's, like, giving really shit readings. Everything here in terms of voice acting is fantastically done, and I absolutely loved it. Animation, again, this here, guys, is this is another point where a lot of these films shine. Warner Brothers is able to get some fantastic animators, some great artists to come in and work on these, and we have some very fluid, very beautiful looking animation, and we also have an art style that is awesome to see. Guys, this thing. Now, once more, if you liked the art style in Justice League War, you're gonna like what's here, because it's the same art style, because it's part of the same franchise, or it's part of the same, like, run of films. So, we have the same cast, we have the same art style, we have the same, pretty much everything. We just have a new villain, we have a new challenge. It is a proper sequel. I will say, if I really had to make any, comment, and I was worried about this going in, guys, is normally a sequel is supposed to be a step up from the previous film. When you have this sort of an action franchise, you want the big challenge in the next film to be some kind of a step up. Justice League War kind of put this thing behind the fucking eight ball. By opening up with Darkseid. You really can't go bigger than Darkseid when we're talking about, the DC universe. However, they were able to take the tandem team of Black Manta and Ocean Master and almost make it a lateral step in terms of threat. Again, guys, ponder that. They made Ocean Master almost as big a threat as Darkseid, and it worked. I'm still stunned by that, because I don't normally imagine Ocean Master being an interesting villain. Fuck me dead, they actually did it here. I'm kind of stunned. Alright, so anyway, our sound mix here is great. Our score... Our score here is really good, but it also is not that memorable. It is perfect for setting setting the tone in every scene, but it's not exactly a piece of music that you are going to want to listen to again and again. It's not that memorable. It certainly works though. Let's see, sound mix. CG, there actually is a lot of CG in this film. It's done very, very well, which is a huge step up from almost all the DC films I watched last year, where I had to continuously bitch because the CG was complete garbage. This time around, it was really good. Almost everything here, which was CG, was incredibly solid. I can definitely say that they've gotten a hell of a lot better. Ultimately, guys, when all is said and done, I'm able to recommend Justice League Throne of Atlantis. You bet your ass I can. Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, this honestly is not coming because of my DC Comics bias. This really is a great movie, and if you've never had any real exposure to anything which is Justice League themed, you would probably want to start with the film before this, Justice League War, and then move on to this. However, though, if you saw Justice League War and you really liked what you saw there, this thing is a marvelous follow-up. It is great. I can totally recommend this sucker, man. This movie is absolutely gold. Oh, man. And, you know, guys, as much as I would love to do what I've done whenever I've done any of these DC films, which is watch the 4 bonus episodes that are on here. I actually looked them up before I started filming. I believe we had an episode of, it was 2 episodes of The Brave and the Bold, 1 episode of Justice League Unlimited, and 1 episode of that abhorrently terrible Filmation Aquaman show. Filmation's DC stuff was not that good outside of their Batman work. I'm just gonna say that. However, before I do that, I really want to rewatch Justice League War. And probably the Flashpoint Paradox. Actually, guys, I'm looking at my shelf. I'm looking at all the DC animated films which are sitting there. Probably going to have to marathon a bunch of those now, just because I want to get back into the full swing of all things DC, and god damn it, that just sounds really promising right now. Then I'm probably going to give this thing a second viewing, and then I'll watch the bonus fucking cartoons that are on the disc. My god, guys, I'm so happy to be doing another one of these months. It almost guarantees a whole month of fun, awesome shit for me. Man, I am looking forward to everything coming this month. Well, guys, with that, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.